In November 1532, the Inca leader Atahualpa attended the Spanish banquet with thousands of unarmed servants, but it was an ambush.
At the summit of the breathtaking Andes, where the Inca Empire once stood as a testament to human tenacity and architectural genius, lies a tale of intrigue and ambition that will change the course of history forever. At the height of its glory, the Inca Empire stretched along the spine of the Andes in the region of South America from present-day Ecuador to central Chile.
At its heart was the 13th and last emperor, Atahualpa, whose reign marked the era with both splendor and infighting. As the Incas reveled in their own glory in the process, gloomy darkness was approaching from the east. The Spanish, led by Francisco Pizarro, driven by tales of cities paved with gold and hunger for new lands. The encounter of Atahualpa and Pizarro is one of the most intriguing and tragic stories in history. It would be a dance of ambition, trust, and betrayal. In the shadow of Spanish intrigues, let's take a journey through this turbulent tale where the mighty Inca sun begins to set. At its zenith, the Inca Empire, or Toantinsuyu, meaning four regions in Quechua, ran along the spine of the Andes. It was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America and one of the most powerful entities in the Western Hemisphere. Spanning terrain from high mountains to coastal plains and deep valleys, the empire flourished thanks to the innovation and adaptability of its people. Ingenious agricultural terraces carved into the steep mountain slopes, known as the Andean, allowed the cultivation of a variety of crops, from maize and potatoes in the high-altitude areas to coca leaves and fruit in the tropical plains. Culturally and socially, the empire was a complete mosaic. While the Inca royal family and elite primarily resided in Cusco, which was considered the heart of the empire, the vast territory was home to numerous ethnic groups, each with their own language, customs, and traditions. Ruling wisely, the Incas granted these groups a degree of autonomy and integrated them into the administrative machinery of the empire, respecting their individual identities. This harmony was achieved by blending diplomacy, strategic alliances, and military interventions when necessary. The complex Kapak Nan, a network of royal roads, connected different parts of the empire, enabling efficient communication and movement of troops, resources, and people. These roads were more than mere roads, they were the lifelines that connected the heart of Cusco to the farthest reaches of the empire. Religion also played a crucial role in holding the empire together. The Incas revered a pantheon of gods centered around the sun god Inti. Sacred rituals, ceremonies, and festivals, often set with intricate dances, music, and feasts, permeated daily life, reinforcing the divine right of the Inca ruler and the interconnectedness of all life. In a nutshell, long before Pizarro's arrival, the Incas had built an empire of unprecedented splendor in the harsh Andean topography. Their achievements in agriculture, architecture, and management were a testament to their genius and adaptability. With a complex road system, they connected different peoples and lands, creating a cultural fabric under the watchful eye of the sun god Inti. In the heart of the glorious Inca Empire, internal strife was growing that preceded his ill-fated encounter with the European powers, paving the way for Atahualpa's rise and inadvertently impending vulnerability. A power vacuum emerged after the death of the 11th Sapa Inca Huayna Capac in 1527. He had two prominent sons, Huáscar, based in the imperial capital of Cusco, and Atahualpa, who ruled the northern city of Quito. With no clear successor, the empire found itself on the brink of civil war. Representing different factions and regional interests, the brothers clashed in a fierce and bloody struggle for supremacy. Spanning several years, this period of internal conflict saw pitched battles, shifting loyalties, and political intrigues that significantly weakened the once united empire. Finally victorious, Atahualpa captured and imprisoned Huáscar, thereby solidifying his claim to the throne. But this victory came at a price. The protracted civil war had not only depleted the empire's resources and army, but also created deep breaks in its social fabric. The Spanish under Francisco Pizarro made their fateful entry amid this backdrop of civil turmoil and vulnerability, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic episodes in New World history. Inspired by stories of the immense wealth of the New World and the astonishing successes of other Spanish expeditions, especially Hernán Cortés's in the Aztec Empire, Pizarro set his sights on the legendary lands of South America. Pizarro embarked on a third and more arduous adventure in 1532, after two preliminary expeditions that introduced him to the coastline. With less than 200 men, 67 horses, and a meager artillery force, his campaign might have seemed modest in number. But he had a great advantage in combat against the Incas, who had never seen horses or firearms in their lifetime. More importantly, this military force was not the only route Pizarro would resort to. He was aware of the restless and fragile environment left by the civil war between Atahualpa and Huáscar and sought to exploit these fissures with a mix of military strategy and diplomatic intrigue. When Atahualpa heard these strange strangers, he was confident, even indifferent. After all, he was the leader of one of the greatest empires in the world. He had not foreseen the storm that would follow, a storm shaped by Pizarro's unwavering ambition. In November 1532, the town of Cajamarca was to become the backdrop of an event that changed the course of the Inca Empire and the entire South American continent forever. Revived by his final victory over his brother and confident in the numerical superiority of his troops, Atahualpa believed he could use meeting with these foreign visitors to his advantage. Reports of the actions of these foreigners, both their capacity for violence and their inherent vulnerability, had gotten to him, but perhaps accustomed to the vastness of his rule, the emperor underestimated the Spanish cunning. Aware of previous conflicts and the experiences of other explorers, Pizarro knew that a direct military confrontation against the large numbers of the Inca army would be disastrous. Instead, he chose to cheat. He invited Atahualpa to the square at the center of the settlement, offering a peaceful meeting. Here, the outnumbered Spanish forces lurked on the structures surrounding the square, their guns aimed and their rifles at the ready. When Atahualpa entered the square with his unarmed ceremonial entourage, the Spanish priest approached him, explained the Christian religion, and handed him a Bible, asking him to accept Christianity. However, when Atahualpa refused and threw the Bible on the ground, Pizarro gave the signal to his armored soldiers to leave their places and begin the battle. The air was filled with the sound of cannons and rifles, the ground shook with the attack of the Spanish cavalry, and within a few minutes the square was in complete chaos. The unarmed Inca nobility was no match for the Spanish onslaught. In the midst of the chaos, Pizarro and several of his men captured Atahualpa. The Spaniards had accomplished the unimaginable. At the end of the battle, everyone with Atahualpa was killed, but not a single Spanish soldier was killed. Atahualpa was now a prisoner. With a force of less than 200 men, they had captured the ruler of the empire. In the days that followed, Atahualpa offered the Spanish an unprecedented ransom for his release, a chamber filled with gold and 2 chambers filled with silver. In the following months, large quantities of precious metals were delivered to Cajamarca from the corners of the empire. But even as this treasure piled up, Pizarro and his team were determined to be wary of a possible Inca counterattack and the complications that could entail freeing the emperor. Although the Spaniards had surrendered the enormous ransom, they decided to execute Atahualpa on various charges, including conspiracy against them. After a show trial, the once mighty Inca emperor was sentenced to death by burning. However, in response to a concession to royal status and conversion to Christianity, the method of execution was changed to garrote, a form of strangulation. The fall of the Inca Empire at the hands of a small Spanish invasion gang remains one of the most surprising episodes in history. Its repercussions went far beyond the immediate aftermath, forever changing the trajectory of an entire continent.
The wealth extracted from Inca lands filled the Spanish coffers and solidified Spain's dominance as a global superpower in the 16th century. This influx of precious metals, particularly silver from mines like Potosi, has had a transformative effect on the global economy, leading to price inflation and reshaping the dynamics of international trade. Beyond material wealth, the invasion led to the almost complete disappearance of Inca culture and traditions.
The Spaniards imposed their own language, religion, and customs on the native population.
Countless Inca artifacts, scriptures, and places of worship were destroyed as heretical, while Catholic missionaries eagerly sought to convert the indigenous population.
This cultural upheaval has left a lasting scar as today's nations still grapple with issues of identity, cultural preservation, and post-colonial trauma. However, amid this narrative of loss, there are also tales of endurance. Elements of Inca culture and heritage have survived to this day, woven into the fabric of Andean societies. Advanced agricultural techniques, architectural wonders like Machu Picchu, and even the Quechua language continue to serve as enduring proofs of the empire's former glory. Analyzing the invasion of the Inca Empire is not just an exercise in telling historical facts, an exploration of the complex interplay of ambition, destiny, and resilience.
It is a poignant reminder of the impermanence of even the greatest empires and the stubborn spirit of cultures that refuse to perish completely.